Over the past year, the world has changed a lot. We all have felt like we've been in a roller coaster. In a span of 3 months, we went from a full high street of people living their everyday lives to a full country of lockdown thanks to a world pandemic. The COVID-19 world pandemic.
Coronavirus is the biggest challenge of our lifetimes, and the measures we take to tackle it must reflect the magnitude of that.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
So what I am telling people across Scotland that they now must do to help us fight this virus is stay at home.
The fashion industry, amongst others, is one that has been majorly affected by the pandemic.
You should not be going shopping except for essentials.
Considering the statistic that states the contents of the average UK household wardrobe are worth more than £4,000.
We will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores.
If you look at the hashtag COVID style, COVID fashion, or even hashtag everyday fashion, they involved more comfortable clothing to the extent that you can transform a typical stay-at-home clothes and make it work outside the four walls.
My dress sense has changed since the pandemic.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I definitely got into the whole, loungewear, comfy casual.
I seem to be wearing more casual things.
I am more into comfortable clothes now.
Like comfier, relaxed, maybe athleisure, sport luxe kind of clothes.
Simpler items even.
Compared to before the pandemic, I'd always been jeans.
Well, obviously before COVID, people were more buying fashion items because they had the chance to try on them. The same with bags and everything. Since nobody can travel as well, it's been very, very, very bad, fashion-wise as well, because people are not going out, they are not going anywhere. So all our May fashion line, which were very summery, we had to basically pull them because nobody was buying them.
While it's no secret that everybody is moving on to more loungewear and more comfortable clothing, people are now thinking about themselves more than they are thinking about others. So dressing has become more of dressing for yourself more than dressing for other people's approval.
I've actually found myself wearing more loungewear and activewear and trying to adapt that and make that fashionable.
These days I don't even try.
I have been buying a lot more into home loungewear trend, but in ways that I can still work to wear after lockdown is over. I can still wear them in my daily life.
I haven't really bought that much since the pandemic has been around, because normally I'd consider myself quite a fashionable person and I love buying clothes, but it kind of goes hand in hand with there's been nothing open and there's been nowhere to go and dress up. So yeah, I feel there's a huge difference.
When we first reopened after lockdown, obviously we had loads of people. They were shopping from Monday to Saturday. They bought loads of things and we were so happy because we thought, they are buying it because they want it and they were saving up for it. But no, most of the people always returned Sunday, everything, even the bags. One of the shop is in St Andrews, another Oliver Bonus, and they ended up in minus because obviously everybody returned everything because they realized when they got home that they don't actually need these things, because they enjoy being in their pajamas from now, so they don't actually want to go out and dress up, or they don't meet other people, or they are just working from home.
Strangely, what I've noticed in this second lockdown is that I've been wanting to dress up again. I've really been wanting to do my hair, do my makeup, put my pretty clothes on, even if they're not quite so comfortable for being around the house and working from home.
I think even it just helps putting on getting up in the morning, dressing yourself, putting a nice pair of jeans on, like making yourself actually feel like you've made an effort the day.
Just because I think it's helping to get me through, it's helping to cheer me up, and there's something nice about getting up in the morning and, you know, having that fun thing to do.
Because then it just makes you feel more put together. And
I generally do it because it makes me feel good whether I'm going out or not.
Fashion is more psychological than we think. With terms like retail therapy, it's more than just, you know, putting on clothing over our bodies or covering oneself. There's more things that go into it, and whatever you wear truly changes your mindset, it changes how you feel.
Clothing definitely affects my mood.
Yes, it
I feel like clothes definitely can like lift your mood drastically.
And I think that's possibly why I have been choosing to dress up again the last few weeks.
So yes, it does affect my mood.
Looking at all these factors that we've seen coming along, the question that we beg to ask is this pandemic the one thing that is going to help us build our relationship with fashion? Is this the one thing that's going to help us build our relationship with clothing when it comes to accepting ourselves, accepting our bodies, accepting how we feel in clothing, and actually realizing that clothing is really not much of vanity, but also part of self-care, self-love, and self-appreciation? There's more that goes into clothing, and there's more that goes into fashion than just, you know, putting on a piece of clothing together, just putting on something to, you know, cover yourself. Is this the period that truly is going to help us, you know, discover more about ourselves in terms of what we like, what we don't like? And the fact that, you know, sometimes it's not even all about the first impression of other people. First impression begins with ourselves. So does that mean that this is the time that we are being given for us to be able to have a better relationship with clothing, with ourselves, and the first impression that we give to ourselves in terms of how we dress?
As well. So I think this whole COVID situation made like the recognition in people changing loads of like within the jobs as well.